Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Karina and today I'm going to use the Illumicrate prompt cards to choose my January TBR. Happy 2026, Happy New Year. I hope you all had a fantastic holiday season. I can't believe we're choosing the very first TBR of 2026. That is just so crazy to say. And I'm so excited to be curating the first TBR of 2026 together. I thankfully don't have too many book clubs to worry about or mandatory reads, and that's great because I'm still crawling out of that reading funk that has been plaguing me for the last few months. So we're gonna do our best, and hopefully the books that I choose today will set me off on the right track for a great reading year. I do have some buddy reads and a read along that I'm going to be participating in because it is one of my absolute favorite series. I'm also going to be participating in Winterween, which is so exciting because you may or may not know I am entering my horror girl era. So I'm very excited to see if I can get any of the picks on the TBR today. Before we start picking the TBR using the cards, I am going to be spinning my challenge wheel because to my recollection, I did not successfully complete my November TBR, and December was definitely still on the rocky side of things. I don't know, maybe starting off the year with a challenge might not be the best idea, but I did say see you next year, and next year is here, so it's time. The time has come to select a challenge. In case this is the first TBR video of mine you're watching, I have a challenge wheel just with some different prompts that I don't call a punishment wheel for not completing a TBR. Starting off 2026, I am gonna spin the challenge wheel one time just to, see what we can do, see what we can accomplish in January. And we're gonna hope for the best. We're trying to embody positivity in 2026. So we're just gonna roll with it and, make the best of it. Okay, so let's see what the challenge wheel has in store for me for the month of January. Ooh, okay, so we have a random number generator for my sprayed edge shelf. So that means we're gonna have to move and get that sorted out. So please hold. This is a new angle unlocked, but this shelf used to be where I film. But with Christmas and everything, I needed space for the tree. So I kind of moved this to a different spot, and here she is. I'm only gonna do the first two because there's no organization here. I just have my sprayed edges here for now. I have so much organizing I need to do still. So, 2026. We're gonna make it, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do that on another day. This is mostly book box books, but I do have a few different things on the shelf, okay? There's just a little bit of chaos on this shelf, but the challenge says I need to pick a randomly selected book for my TBR, which is fine. We're fine, we're gonna get through it. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21, 22, 30, 37. Okay, so my total is 37 on these two shelves. However, I'm going to count normally left to right for this specific book. Random number generator for 1 through 37. Number 1 through 37, let's see what our number is gonna be. That's 36. Well, I guess the good thing is that I can just go to the last one, correct? That is A Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan. So as you saw, the random number generator chose A Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan for me. I don't know much about this one. The little tagline says, dragons are extinct, witches are outcast, magic is dying, but human lust for power is immortal. It looks like in this world, humans joined together and joined forces to see an end to dragons. For years, for decades, for centuries, they hunted, ridding the sky of dragonfire and claiming their caches of treasure for themselves, until none remained, except one. But I love how the end pages are dragons. So, the humans think dragons are gone, but there's one left, and I'm curious to see what happens. It's so short as well. So, Miss Sophie Jordan, we'll see what she brings to the table. Okay, only 320 pages. For something that was chosen by random number generator, if you saw the book that was next to this, it could have been so much worse. The positive about a random number generator picking something is that it'll choose something that I'm not gonna pick for myself for the month. So this will be a nice little challenge, and it is short on the plus side, so not a bad pick overall, and you know, I'm excited to get to it. Now is the fun part, and that's going to be using these prompt cards to select some books for my TBR for the month. So in order for me to fulfill the prompt cards, I'm obviously going to need my TBR card. Okay, she was definitely crooked, but you know, let's rearrange and get to picking. Of course, before we get picking the cards, I'm going to set my manifestations and, you know, hope that we can curate this January TBR with these intentions in mind. First up, I would like to try and select some of my buddy reads for these prompts. That would be amazing. Next up, I think romantasy is the perfect vibe going into the new year, and that's just kind of what is gauging my interest at the moment. And then lastly, I'm gonna have to go with some spooky books because of course Winterween is happening in January, and I would like to get some of the books that I have in mind on this TBR. So fingers crossed we'll go into January with an absolutely stacked TBR. Minute since we've used the cards, so we're just gonna give her a nice shuffle. Okay, I haven't mentioned yet, but I'm gonna be pulling 5 prompts for 5 books. But there is a chance that more books will be on the TBR just with all the plans that I had. Let's see what the first prompt of 2026 is going to be. How exciting is that? Okay. You know, let's stop there. Let's stop there. Okay, first up we have a book with forbidden magic. Why do I feel like this one would fit? So for our prompt number 1, I had a book in mind. I did have to consult my free resource known as Google to see if it would fit the prompt, and it says that it does. So for our first prompt of 2026, a book with forbidden magic, I'm going to go ahead and put on Dawn of the Firebird by Sarah Mughal Rana. Now, what is this about, you ask? What a great question. This actually is the Adult Fairloot book of December, so it came with a little informational spoiler card, so I'm gonna go ahead and just read the synopsis there. Okay, it says, with her heavenly magic, Camilla, the daughter of an overthrown emperor, infiltrates the enemy's army in order to reclaim her stolen throne. Caught between a brewing war and a dark power rising within her, she must decide whether to become the weapon they fear or be the savior no one expects. That sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm gagged. I'm so gagged because just look at this amazing, beautiful naked hardcover. She's gorgeous. Okay, I don't know how well it's picking up. It's probably not at all, but gorgeous foiling in the design, and I'm obsessed. Prompt number 1 has been selected, and I'm so excited to have this one on the TBR. Now that we have the first prompt fulfilled, let's see what prompt number 2 will be. Let's stop there and let's see what we have. Ooh, okay, it says a book that is friends to lovers. Okay, I have one romance that is on my January hopefuls potential possibility list, and I don't know if that is friends to lovers. I promise I try to select some options for my prompts, but the one romance that I had in mind to pick up in January is due to the buzzword title prompt. It seems like it does fit the vibe of friends to lovers, so I'm gonna just go ahead and go with that one. It might not be the correct season for it, but that's fine because I still haven't read it and I've had it for goodness knows how long. But the book that I'm going to select for prompt number 2 is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I haven't read a single book by her, so this will be my first. If you don't know what Buzzword is, it's the yearly challenge that Kayla from Books and Lala puts together, and the title prompt is before and after, and obviously after is in this title, and that's the one I had kind of pre-selected, so this is perfect. Okay, it says 6 summers to fall in love, 1 moment to fall apart, a weekend to get it right. And I know this follows Persephone and Sam, who were childhood friends that turned into something more, but something occurred to maybe fracture the friendship and the relationship altogether. After a long time away from her childhood home, Persephone returns because Sam's mother passed away and she's returning to the funeral. And it's supposed to be a gorgeously nostalgic look at love and the people and choices that mark us forever. So I'm actually kind of shocked that I haven't read this yet. So since this was already on my hopefuls list, I am not mad that it made it to the TBR. So that's perfect. And I lost my card. Oh, I found it. Prompt number 2 you know, that worked out. That worked out really well for me. 2 down, 3 to go. Let's see what prompt number 3 will be. Hopefully I can get some options for this next one. Okay, a book with a queer character. Okay. Perfect. I do not have a few options. Okay. Where is she? Where is he? Where is it? Okay. I think this one. Oh, this one is. Oh, actually, this one. For this one, I did grab a few options off of the cart. The first one I want to talk about is a library book that I just picked up yesterday on my library trip, and that is To the Moon and Back by Eliana Ramage. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. Essentially, this one is about one young woman's relentless quest to become the first Cherokee astronaut will alter the fates of the people she loves most in this tour de force about ambition, belonging, and family. Very good, viable option here. The second option I have is The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. All I know about this one is that it's sapphic dark academia and, you know, fits the vibe. The last option I have, and the one that I most likely am gonna go with because it's on my Winterween hopefuls, and that is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. So in the story, we're following 3 sisters, Iris, Gray, and Vivi, and as children, they disappeared off of a Scottish city street. They returned a month later with no memory or recollection of what happened to them, and in the current day, Iris is now 17, trying to graduate high school, and one of her sisters goes missing, and I presume they have to find her. It sounds like the sisters are not the only ones looking for Gray, so that could, you know, turn a little bit troublesome. So very excited to have this one on the TBR. The 2 books I've read from the author previously have been 4 or 5 stars, so I'm hoping this is no different. So excited to have this on the TBR and perfect for my Winterween lineup. We got 3 of the 5 prompts already picked, 3 books on the TBR, well technically 4, but thankfully I've been able to pick ones off of my hopefuls list for the TBR thus far. Let's see if we can keep that going with prompt number 4. Okay, that was a little bit longer. Let's see what this one is. Ooh, okay, it says a book by a debut author. Well, you're not gonna work. I don't know if this is a debut. Actually, wait. I think this one is a debut. Okay, debut. This one took a little bit more time to find, but I do have 2 options for this one. The first one I've already talked about, To the Moon and Back by Eliana Ramage. The second book that I do have on my hopefuls list because it is a book club's pick for January that I am following in Fable. The second option that I have that I do already have on Kindle Unlimited is To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. This one I feel like has gotten all the hype recently. I know this is a dystopian romance and it takes place in a prison. It says, enter the brutal world of Endlock, a prison where the wealthy hunt the inmates for sport. This book is supposed to have forbidden love, found family, and a fight for survival that will leave you breathless, supposedly. So I have a Kindle Unlimited book or a library book. I think officially I am gonna put To Cage a Wild Bird on the TBR because I'm trying to participate in the Fable book clubs more than I have in 2025. And that one I'm just so excited about. I've heard pretty good things about it and I'm just so intrigued. And it sounds brutal. It sounds like it's gonna be a time. And I fear I'm gonna have to put that on the TBR, so I am. So for a book by a debut author, I am gonna put To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. Perfect. We only have 1 prompt card left, but you know I'm gonna have more books on the TBR at the end. So let's see what prompt number 5 will give us. All right, here we go. Oh, it says a dark academia book. Wow, I do have options for that, thankfully. Okay. This one, I know this one that I just talked about. So dark academia book is such a good prompt because I feel like I haven't read a lot recently, but it is something that I actually really do enjoy. So I have 3 options that were on the cart. The first one that I have is one that has been on a previous TBR that I still haven't read. The first option is Catabasis or Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. The next one is one that I've talked about, and that is The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. The last option I have is one that I've needed to read for so long. I've seen it on so many people's favorite books of 2025 list, and that is Blood Over Brighthaven by Emma Wong. Hold the phone because I feel like I might have another option that is on my hopefuls list that could fit, so let's do some research. At the buzzer, okay? At the buzzer, before making my pick, my brain decided to turn on and thought of an option, and it looks like it has been shelved as Dark Academia. And that's this one here. My fourth option that I didn't even think of until now is Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake. This one I do have on my Winterween TBR, so am I gonna choose it? Yes, yes I am, okay? I do believe this might have cannibalism. I don't know for sure, I don't know for sure. It says good girls deserve a treat. Okay, I don't think that's going where I wanted to, but I'm trying to get, you know, into my spooky girl era, and I feel like this one could deliver. This one could deliver, hopefully, good things. Good things might be a stretch. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm a little hesitant. I'm a little nervous, but I have enjoyed Olivia Blake, so my fingers are crossed, and I'm hoping for the best. So even though the 5 prompts are fulfilled, you know I'm gonna have more books on the TBR just because of who I am as a person. And I'm such a mood reader. So let's go over the few books that I do have lined up for some fun reading plans. You know, they're just gonna lay. They're just gonna lay and be fine. Another book that I have on my Winterween TBR is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix, another library copy. So I would love to get to this one before I have to return it because the due date is coming. So I would like to get to it. This is a chunky one, but we're gonna do our best and hope for the best and see what happens. So another book I have on my January hopefuls is one of my favorite series, and that book starts off with A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Oh my gosh, that was my elbow. Wow, I'm getting old. Okay, my friends Clint and Amanda that host the Fiction Falls Book Club are doing a read-along of this series, so I'm gonna try and do my best to get to this one because I haven't read this in quite some time, so I think it's time for a reread. I do have some bestie buddy reads on my list as well. The first one is The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhorn. We've both wanted to read this for so long, and it's a historical fiction. We're trying to get more into it, so maybe this one will actually get read while the weather's cold, you know? We're also trying to read through the Bloodwing Academy books, and the first one on the list, of course, is On Wings of Blood by Briar Lynn. I know it has dragons. It's at an academy. That's kind of all I need, to be honest. And then we're also reading through the Lord of the Rings series, and the next book is The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm currently in the middle of the first book and loving every second. I've seen the movies so many times, and you know, I'm hoping that I can get through this series with my bestie, and we're just having a great time. So another book on the list. The last book I'm going to talk about, it fulfills the cover challenge for the BUZZWORD Reading Challenge of the year. And that book is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I sadly did not get to this one in December. I'm going to be trying to get through this one earlier in the month if I can. The BUZZWORD cover prompt is body parts, but internal that are external on the cover. Does that make sense? I don't know. But this one does have our little rooster guy made of bones, so that absolutely fits the bill. And now my TBR is to the heavens, and it's fine. It's fine. Before we go, let's go ahead and do a little recap of what's on my official prompt card TBR. So we start off with the challenge wheel, and that prompt gave me A Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan. First prompt card I got was a book with forbidden magic, and for this one I'm going to be picking up Dawn of the Firebird. Prompt number 2, I got a book with friends to lovers, and for this one I'm going to pick up Every Summer After. Prompt number 3 gave me a book with a queer character, and for this one I'm picking House of Hollow. The next prompt I got was a book by a debut author, and for this one I chose To Cage a Wild Bird. The last official prompt I got was a Dark Academia book, and for this one I selected Girl Dinner. We started off looking good, and then I just had to keep adding and adding and adding, as I do. Oh my. Here's the stack. In addition to Cage a Wild Bird, of course, because I do have that on ebook. So she's definitely looking a little hefty than when we first started, so that's great. That's perfect. That's totally normal for me, actually. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today as I selected the first TBR of the new year. How incredible, exciting, and amazing is that? If you're participating in Winterween or the BUZZWORD Challenge, I'd love to know what you're picking up for those prompts. If you've read any of these, please let me know any and all of your thoughts down below. If you're still watching and you want to let me know, feel free to leave a wave emoji for every summer after. I hope you have a lovely day, afternoon, or night whenever you're watching, and I'll see you again soon in another video. Until next time.